Welcome back to Indigo Smokes Astrology. So this video is for Natal Moon in Leo. I'm going to briefly go over what the moon is, then I'll get into how this personality is as far as moon in Leo. Sorry if I'm a little bit spaced out. Anyways, so your moon sign. Your moon sign is your soul. It's who you are at your core. It's the energy that you come into this life with. This is who you are as a baby moving forward. You've always been this energy. This energy has always been there. This is your relationship with your mother. The moon is your deepest needs, your instincts, your dreams, your emotions. It's who you are in private. It's the energy that typically, unless there's other stuff in your chart that makes it more obvious, this is typically the energy that people who are close to you in your inner circle get to see. So yes, that is your moon sign. If I didn't say it already, who you were as a child, your relationship with your mother, and the energy and theme of your childhood and your childhood environment. So Leo is a fire sign. It is fixed. It rules the 5th house. And I can't think of any moon in Leo people that I know personally, but I know a lot of Leos. I know a lot of Leo energy. And a lot of the times, you will act a lot like, a lot of times you'll act more like your moon sign than your sun sign. In some instances, that can definitely be true. Especially when you're younger, you may resonate more with your moon sign than any other sign in your chart. So sometimes they'll say that whatever sign your moon is in, that you act more like that than people who have that energy as their sun sign. So for example, moon in Leo may act more like Leos than Leo suns, because once again, this is who you are at your core. These are your instincts. So from what I have researched, from what I have seen in people who have dominant Leo energy, moon in Leo, very generous, very warm-hearted, very friendly, lots of confidence. I have yet to meet, I'm not going to say that, because I have met insecure Leos, but they put up a good front, So I would say moon and Leo individuals, they have very high self-esteem, very high confidence, and even if they don't, they're going to project that. These people can be very entertaining, very fun, very funny. They do like attention. They do like to have the spotlight. They do have a lot of leader qualities. They can come off as being very bossy. Leo is very loyal. Once again, this is fixed energy. So loyalty is normally a very strong theme with this energy. Leo energy rules celebrities in drama and theater. So definitely someone who has moon in Leo, they could like the spotlight on a grand scale, being involved in the arts, being involved in the entertainment industry. That could be something that they're naturally inclined towards. So there could definitely be a need for admiration, recognition, attention, appreciation. They need that, even if it's not on a public grand scale, like being involved in Hollywood or the entertainment industry. They definitely need a certain level of recognition, appreciation, attention, and admiration in their personal life and their work life. They need to be recognized for their efforts. Moon in Leo, once again, it rules theater, rules drama and flair, and anything that's like ostentatious and anything that grabs your attention. So moon and Leo can definitely be very creative, very artistic, very ambitious, driven. Once again, this is a fixed sign. Very charming, charismatic, dignified. A lot of times moon and Leo people, Leo dominant people, they carry a certain regal or dignified air to them. They love and they need a certain level of royal treatment. They need to feel special. They need to be seen for what makes them special. They prefer a luxurious environment, home, lifestyle, etc. They have most likely very expensive taste or very flamboyant or ostentatious taste. This Leo energy, it rules the strength card in tarot, so they can be very brave, very courageous, very honest, sincere in their higher vibration. In their lower vibration, though, they can come off very big-headed or snobbish or obnoxious, or once again ostentatious, or just so self-absorbed, or maybe, you know, show narcissistic tendencies in their lower vibration. So they can definitely be very arrogant or egotistical. They can, in their lower vibration, compulsively like need or seek attention, or being the center of attention. So that's definitely something that can happen in its more lower vibrational expression. Sometimes Moon and Leo can come off to others as being very melodramatic, or maybe being a show off, or once again there can be a certain level of self-centeredness that shows itself with this energy when it's in excess, or when it's not in balance. I would say Moon and Leos, they aim to have, or Leo dominant people, they aim to have a certain status or a certain reputation. They like to be highly regarded. What else? They can be very hedonistic, mind you. This rules the fifth house. Fifth house is recreational. It's gambling, it's sex, it's love, it's romance. So they can definitely be hedonistic in regards to what they like to indulge in. You know, whether that's spending money lavishly, whether once again that's love, or whether that's sex, or whether that's attention. They can definitely be or have hedonistic tendencies. What else did I put here? I would say they rule the heart, so their pride and ego could be a very big deal to them, so they can be easily offended. They don't take too kindly to being ignored or overlooked or criticized. They don't take those things very easily. You know, it wounds their pride. I would definitely say that. Sometimes Leo energy, it can come off as being very loud, if not literally as in how they speak. Their presence can be loud. So whether it's literal or whether it's just an energy thing, Moon and Leo dominant people, they can have a certain loudness about them, whether that's their fashion, whether that's how they communicate, whether it's just their presence. There's something about them that stands out. And they like that. They want to stand out. They want to be set apart. They do not want to blend in. Let me see what else that I put here. I'm not going to get to the mother yet, I don't think. Yeah, I already said you guys can have a lot of pride. They can come off, or they can actually be sometimes very melodramatic. Mind you, Leo rules the arts, it rules theater, acting, all of that. So if it's not just that they appear to others as melodramatic, they can actually be melodramatic. Very concerned about their appearance, about how they present themselves. And this can come through in its excess as being very, very vain. Okay, always wanting to be picture ready, camera ready, wanting everything to look good. Definitely a Leo dominant, Moon in Leo thing, quality. In their higher vibration, they can have a lot of integrity. Okay, mind you, back to the tarot strength card, it not only has to do with inner strength, it has to do with being able to tame your lower nature. And in their higher vibration, Leo dominant people, Moon in Leo people can definitely they can operate by a certain code. A good example of this would be Nipsey Hussle. He had a Leo stellium, and I believe his moon was a part of that Leo stellium. And he was someone who had a lot of like integrity. He had a certain principle, a certain code about him. So Nipsey Hussle is a very good example of someone who is a Moon in Leo, and also someone who has Leo dominant energy in its higher vibration. Just someone who you can really look up to, who has a certain status, lives a certain lifestyle, has a certain code that he operates by, and has a certain way of commanding attention, you know. So that's a good example. Moon and Leo, once again, their ego, their pride is a thing, so they may not take too kindly, or they don't take rejection easily. They don't take criticism easily. They don't take being ignored easily. They don't like to be overlooked or outshined. Okay. They could be very proud, obviously. They do not like to be bossed around. They do not like to be controlled. They want to be the ones doing the bossing and controlling. Let me see. Moon and Leo can come off very bold, very confident, very expressive, very blunt and honest. They can come off maybe intimidating or aggressive to more modest or mild manner types. And if not intimidating or aggressive, they can just be overwhelming to, once again, meeker or milder personalities. I wouldn't say compromise is very easy for Moon and Leos. They can be very stubborn. Once again, this is a fixed sign, so compromise might be something that they have to really work on. Unless, of course, there's other things in their chart to combat that. Yeah. Lovers of love romance, lovers of indulging, but definitely a child at heart, romantic at heart, very passionate about anyone or anything that they're giving their attention to. They're very passionate about it. I would say they're kind of all or nothing in that aspect. Let me see. I definitely feel like they rule the heart. So if their heart isn't in it, they're most likely not going to either initiate it or continue and follow through with it. So whatever it is, whoever it is, it has to tug at the Moon and Leo's heartstrings. Otherwise, they're most likely not going to commit to it. So definitely operate from their heart, for better or for worse. They can be very loving, very affectionate, very generous, very doting on those that they do love, those that they are in a, romantic relationship with. I would say they can be very resilient. Sometimes they may be self-righteous, or they may appear that way to others. Ideally, I would say they kind of put their loved ones, they put their partner on display or on a pedestal, and they can definitely be very possessive of their partner, possessive of their loved ones, because once again, they want all of your attention on them. So anytime where it may feel like someone else is, once again, taking away the spotlight or taking away that attention, that's where their dark side or their possessive energy can come out, especially when it comes to whoever they're in a relationship with, especially and also with their children. So those are just things that you do not mess with the Moon and Leo. You don't mess with their partner, you don't mess with their kids, you don't mess with anybody who they feel like is basically theirs, or who they are kind of like entitled to. Hope that doesn't come off too offensive how I'm wording that. Once again, when they're insecure, they can be desperate for attention, any kind of attention, even if it's negative attention. They can feel envious of other people's success or their talents, and sometimes they can look down on others who maybe are less fortunate or less polished than they are. Once again, they hate to feel overlooked or outshined, or unappreciated. And I think now I can get into the relationship with the mother, how you guys were as a child. Moon and Leo, definitely, they're full of life, they're full of love. I would say if there was a motto to be associated with them, I would say they are winners who want to be associated with other winners. Hence where that whole looking down on others can come into play when their ego gets too big. Moving back to the mother. Okay, so Moon and Leo as a child, they probably were the golden child, unless there are aspects to their Moon or other personal planets that can overdominate, such as Moon square Saturn or conjunct Saturn, or square Pluto conjunct Pluto. Unless it's something strong like that in their chart, Moon and Leo most likely got a lot of attention when they were kids. They were most likely the center of attention. They got the spotlight. They were the golden child, the prince, the princess. They could have definitely fulfilled that role. And they could have been very entertaining, like larger than life. Once again, as a child, they could have definitely been into the arts. They could have definitely been creative. Somehow, some way, they commanded attention. In a high vibration, they could have commanded that attention once again through their creativity, through how entertaining they can be, through how talented they were. Or, on the opposite end, if they weren't, say, the golden child, they could have, gotten the attention by rebelling or throwing temper tantrums, or different things like that. But either ways, I would say they got a lot of attention for better or for worse. And if not that, then they didn't get any attention, and that could have definitely created some insecurities within them that made them more compulsive about getting attention or reaching a certain status in their life to make up for that void that they didn't get in their childhood. But I would say in general, ideally, Moon and Leo, they were very much doted on, adored. They were the golden child. They got all of the love, all of the attention, and they had a certain way of commanding it as well, especially if they were creative or artistic, early on. Could have definitely been into fashion. They could have been very open, very honest, very confident even as children. Once again, this is ideally. As far as the mother could have been very well known, very popular, maybe could have been a celebrity in certain instances, very powerful, proud, ambitious, bossy, may have not been the best at like domestic affairs, once again due to her ambition or due to her creativity or due to her larger than life personality or her lifestyle. The mother could have definitely been very doting, very smart, very beautiful, and she could have had a certain level of status or celebrity about her. If not, on the more shadow side of this, the mother could have been very into appearances and facades and just making sure everything looked good. Or she could have been, superficial, or she could have been so self-absorbed into herself or whatever she was focused on that she neglected the child. Sometimes that can happen with this placement. But ideally, once again, the mother could have been very proud of her child, very doting on her child, giving the child only the best, spoiling the fuck out of her child. Her child was considered kind of an extension or a reflection of her, so the child had to look good. And once again, Moon and Leo mother definitely could have been very loving, very caring, and in some instances domestic affairs or the traditional things that a mother does as far as taking care of the home or being a homemaker. She may or may not have been very good at that, due to other things that took a hold of her focus and her attention. But definitely, ideally, she was very much a lover of children, a lover of her child especially, and made sure that her kid had the absolute best. So there's that. The mother could have definitely been more so into her career, her goals, her hobbies, her position in or her status in society. Let me see, are there any other mommy notes that I have on here? Ideally, the mother taught the Moon and Leo child self-respect, confidence, dignity, independence, and drive, ambition. I do think that, and once again, unless the mother was too selfish or vain, then this child was the apple of their mom's eye, which is pretty awesome. Because when a Moon and Leo, or when a Leo dominant person loves on you, you feel like you are the center of attention. You feel like you're the center of their world. Once again, they put their loved ones on a pedestal, and their love can have a way of boosting people up, bringing them from here to up here. So there's that. Let me see, what other notes do I have? Okay, Moon and Leo, they need their freedom, they need their respect, they need their recognition. They want to be recognized for their success, their talent, their efforts, period. Whether that's on a grand scale, a private scale, it doesn't matter. They need a certain level of, admiration for who they are, what they do, and etc. They can hold a grudge. Once again, Leo is a fixed sign, and once again, they can be easily offended because their heart, their pride, it's connected. That's a thing for them. So, they can hold on to the things that offend them. Hence, holding a grudge against people. I already said they hate to be ignored, outshined, overlooked, criticized. They need to feel important. They need to feel acknowledged. They do not want to feel like they are just one of a million. They want to feel like they're one in a million. They want to be treated like they're one in a million. They need a lot of love. They need a lot of affection, admiration, praise, reassurance sometimes. They do stand out in a crowd typically, and if they don't, they're going to put in extra effort to stand out in a crowd. They aim to impress, typically at all times. They can be some of them can be self-conscious, but their pride most likely won't let them show it, especially in public. And once again, in their darker or their more shadowy vibration, they can be too receptive, or they can be too receptive to what others think about them. Once again, getting into vanity, appearances, and all of that. I think they can naturally command attention, but sometimes they can demand it. Hence why sometimes some people may think of them as overwhelming or intimidating or aggressive. I feel like typically Leos, they just carry themselves in a way that commands attention, but when they're more insecure, it can be more compulsive or obvious that they're trying to get attention. Let me see. I feel like Moon and Leo, they're children at heart, a lot of them. Mind you, Leo, 5th house energy, it rules kids. So they can have a natural connection with children. They can understand them. They could work in a career field with children, but they're ultimately children at heart. And I feel like that is a part of what makes them so, creative or artistic, is that they never fully leave that energy behind. Self-expression is definitely vital to Moon and Leos. Even if it's not on a public scale, they probably need to channel some of their energy towards a creative or an artistic endeavor. They definitely have a desire to live their life to the fullest, once again, unless there's some kind of harsh aspect to their moon with Saturn or Pluto or another personal, planet aspecting those two. They gravitate towards the spotlight. They gravitate towards leadership positions. They can be very fun to be around. They can be very competitive. Enthusiastic, upbeat typically. They need and like stability in their relationship. Once again, this is a fixed sign. All fixed signs resist change, and they want things a particular way and not very adaptable outside of what it is that they want. So Moon and Leo, they typically have a lot of love to give, and they need a partner who admires and adores them and dotes on them and will reassure them when they're down. They need a lot of affection and praise from them. They need intense loyalty and devotion from their partners. They need someone who can also stand up to them when they're being too stubborn, and be able to reassure them when they're insecure or doubting themselves, or just when they're vulnerable. They need a partner that's going to pamper them and make them feel special, make them feel seen. And they also need a partner who knows them well enough to know when to just let the Moon and Leo take lead. So they need a good balance between someone who can take charge and someone who can, hand over the reins as necessary or needed for the Moon and Leo. Let me see, is there anything else that I put here? You already said they're most likely the golden child, very cherished, very funny. Back to the mother, a last little note. Also, the mother, her sense of style, her presence could have been very colorful, very vibrant, very flashy, entertaining, creative. She could have been a very great hostess in regards to like throwing parties and functions and things like that. The mother could have been in the public eye, or the mother could have been often the center of attention as well. Well known, admired. Most likely the Moon and Leo child looked up to the mother for those qualities, amongst others. And yes, oh, also the pride, the ego thing, they could have definitely, or they could definitely brag about themselves a lot. So also Moon and Leo, I would say, because it's ruled by the sun, I find that Leos like gold. I think Leo actually rules gold, so it makes sense. I've noticed that a lot of Leo dominant individuals, they're drawn towards blonde hair or blonde aesthetics or gold jewelry, especially Leo risings. But anyone who has dominant Leo energy, they can naturally be drawn to blonde or gold jewelry, decor, etc. So that's just like a random little thing that I've noticed. What else? I think that's it. I think that is it. I'm trying to think, is there a celebrity that I can think of that expresses the lower vibration of a Leo? Let me see. Moon in Leo celebrities. Barbara Streisand, Tom Cruise. I mean, I've heard rumors about Charlize Theron and maybe Barbara Streisand, their Moon in Leo energy expressing itself in a more shadowy way, like being very into themselves or looking down on their nose at others. I've heard rumors about that, but I don't know if it's actually true. But yeah, I was looking for somebody who was like very obvious in their Moon in Leo energy and the ego that it can sometimes bring, but I can't find any. But a good example of Moon in Leo in a high vibration is definitely Nipsey Hussle, as far as I'm concerned. So other than that, I hope that this video was helpful and insightful, and I hope that it resonates. If I left anything out, please put it in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe if you like this video. Yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you sooner rather than later in my next video. Thank you for watching, and bye. Mwah.